All right. Sorry for the little bit of delay there, but
What
we
is
are
up?
live. We are live on all channels,
We
YouTube,
love it. We love going
Twitch.
live. I love going live every time.
Yep. So we got a lot to freaking talk about. Crazy news about XRP, some hype in the markets, the directions, the CPI reports, the economy, the housing market. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Oh
There's
yeah.
craziness going on. So, but let's go over some of the basics as people start flowing in here. Welcome into episode 21 of Morning Market News. Glad to have everyone in here. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this stream. Like and subscribe and share as you guys are coming in. It really helps us. Anyone new, we are simply investing. My name is Sal. We got Cody on the other line, on the other side, on the YouTube side here, and we go over every bit of investing through crypto, stocks, real estate, businesses. I invest in crypto, stocks, and I have real estate. I also have businesses. I have three businesses I have full ownership of, and I have one that I have a partnership in with two other guys as we run a construction company. So, and we like to talk, and Cody and I like to talk about the economy, stocks, investing, all that stuff. And if you want to join in, all you got to do is subscribe either to Patreon or to TikTok, and we'll get you that Discord link.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and you guys can certainly join in on the conversations there. But I really appreciate you guys joining in. Got a lot of great topics. If you guys are commenting, if I miss your comment or your question, I do apologize. We don't have our moderators in here just yet, so just give us some time, let them come in, and hopefully we won't miss any of your comments. But we do appreciate all that support. Kind of going over the basics here. The crypto market's down a little bit, a little over 0.5%. Kind of came back from yesterday a little bit, but not all the way to 1.4 trillion. We have trading volume at 63 billion, Bitcoin dominance at 51.1%, Ethereum dominance at 17.6%, feeding Greer index, fear and greed index still at an all-time pretty high at 70 at 75. We also have the main blue chip tokens kind of holding steady and really really haven't made any downward or upward project momentum. But we got Bitcoin down only about 2%, Ethereum down about 2.8%, but they are holding steady. Bitcoin's holding over 36K, Ethereum's holding over 2K, XRP holding at 65 cents. We have Solana still holding at $56. We have Cardano still holding at 36 cents. We have Chainlink back in the $14 range, lost about 6.5% on the day. We have Polygon down about 2%, and we have DOT down about 4%, but still in the $5 range. We got Litecoin still in the 70s. And of course, we have Hedera just under 6 cents. And we have Quant at 102, kind of down 1%, but still holding that range there. So a lot of great things, still a lot of good opportunities to dollar cost average in as the market seemed to be going through a little bit of a sell-off as people take profits and everything. So just be aware of that. Right now, if anyone who has been in 2 weeks ago, most likely they are right now taking profits. They are right now taking profits and kind of building their bags. If anything, it'd be a good time to dollar cost average right now. That'd probably be a good time to start looking at. Cody, I'm getting a little bit of feedback there.
What kind of feedback?
I don't know. It's just like I think I hear my voice coming through your mic again. It's a little
I don't
weird.
have a mic on. I mean, my phone's just on full volume.
I got you. That might be why. It just might be echoing back.
Is it better?
Yeah, a lot better there. Okay, good to hear. Shout out to terrible Tim. Welcome in. Hey, thanks for supporting and sponsoring the live there. Appreciate you joining in and appreciate everyone else. If we can get those likes up, hopefully we could beat our record of 21K likes and see if we can get to 30K likes this time. Shout out to Crypto Dream joining us on the YouTube side. Also, guys, he's a great supporter and moderator of our channel. So go support his channel on YouTube, Crypto Dream, and also his TikTok as well. Also, Cody has a TikTok, CodyHarris.eth. You can go
I'm finally on
follow
shadow
him.
banned.
Yeah, he's finally on shadow ban, so go follow him, support his channel as well, and because we do a lot more than just kind of go over just our morning market news. We do have evening streams as well as Friday. We will have a stream with Crypto Dream in the evening, and we also have what's in your business on Saturday and what's in your portfolio on Sunday streams. But thank you guys for joining in. Really appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and get this started because we're going to talk real quick about XRP because we kind of had a weird little spike here. Some market, it looks like a market manipulation as they came out with the news of BlackRock's iShares ETF on XRP, which I don't know. I think that's going to be a little bit of a FUD. And here it is. Um, someone talked to BlackRock. BlackRock has not filed for a spot XRP ETFs. Spokesman confirms. So I think someone was just trying to push the envelope a little bit there. I mean, given how low that was what 65 cents to 73. So you're talking about 8 cents. I mean, if you have like over 100,000 XRP, that's a huge
That's
monthly
huge.
bill.
Because I honestly see XRP going to $5. $10 is a little on the high side, but $5 is very realistic for XRP.
Yeah, I mean, in the long run, XRP I think 450 to 550 is the range. It is very curious. I think someone spiked it here to just make some quick profit, see
Yeah.
if they could make it. But it seems to have stabilized back down to 65 cents. So it seems like 65 is kind of the resistance level for XRP. Shout out to user 710. Glad to have you in here. Welcome back in. Another one of our great supporters. But I mean, there's some craziness because like I was also in a live last night with people talking about XRP. It's like XRP has a good return on investment potential, but it's not going to be put $1,000 in and you have a net worth of $100 million. Like that's probably not going to happen. What's going to happen is if you put $1,000 in, you might get $5,000 back in about 2 years. That's what I'm thinking. But you got to be careful around it because there's a lot of degenerate price points on XRP, and I don't think XRP is ever really going to hit the that 800 and I think what was it $847 price target someone had. That was the highest I've seen. No, I'm sorry, 1,200 was the highest I've seen, and that's I don't know. I don't think that's at all possible to really hit that level. Let me pull up KuCoin here, see what the trading volume of XRP is. Let's see here. Oh man, my computer is moving slow. Time to get a new one. Oh boy, let's see. Okay, fine. All right, finally pulled up here. Pulled up. Let's share this tab here. Okay. Yeah, the volume's pretty stagnant. Like the order book's not moving fast, but there are some large orders here. 82K XRP, 23K XRP. Now someone looks like someone's buying a couple 500 or 600 worth there. 1,200. About equal selling volume. So it's a little weird. It's like we're not getting a lot of volume, but if we kind of look here, it looks like we're about ready to go back up a little bit because it looks like the volume's starting to peak again. Let's see what it says on CoinMarketCap. Here, trading volume 3.5 billion. That's about the same. It's up 210% from yesterday, but 3.5 billion. It's about 2.5% of the daily trading volume. So I don't. We shouldn't see any price action on this. It should just start slowly going up, maybe hit around 67 cents for you guys, but it's still a good time to dollar cost average on this sucker. I don't think it's going down. I don't think it's going to go up anytime soon. But we'll have to see because we have Thanksgiving coming up right around the corner, and it's definitely going to be pretty interesting to see where we're at and what we're going, where the market's going to be at, and where XRP is going to be at. But I just think of that price movement was just sheer manipulation, and yeah, I think someone was just trying to spread some fake news about XRP and Ripple because I didn't even see that in the private equity investor side letter about any of that stuff. So
Yeah, it's weird when you don't even see that in the private investor side.
yeah, it's like I didn't see that in the weekly letter from them. So I would have heard about that. But anyway, moving on. We'll move on to the next topic here because the CPI data came out for October and we were flat. I'm gonna pull that up too for you guys. So if you guys are wondering if you want to go check out, the link is in my bio for YouTube, for our YouTube channel. If you want to go check it out and watch us live too on there. Let's see here. It's saying it eases to 3.2% in 3.3%. I still think we're a little. I think this is going to cause them to definitely ease the rates a little bit, but in my opinion, they should raise it another quarter for the next every. They should raise 0.25 every 3 months for the next year and a half to help burn off this inflation. Because what we need is for money to kind of go someplace and never go back into circulation. So we need to incentivize people to save, or we need to incentivize businesses to not spend as much. Unfortunately, it's really the reduction of the fuel, like what we're pumping out of fuel reserves to minimize the CPI data to the inflation data. But the energy costs are going down. The cost of diesel and fuel is dropping. So that means oil is going to be a little cheaper for people. Shout out to Joan. Thoughts on the status of Ethereum, of ETH. We'll get to that in just a second, buddy. But thanks for joining in. Really appreciate you chiming in there. So they're suppressing the energy inflation by releasing more and more of their oil reserves to kind of level it out. But I think it's naturally leveling out anyway because we had a lot of trucking companies go out of business. So therefore, the diesel fuel consumption rate dropped significantly. Also, we're having a push on EV vehicles and EV trucks. I don't know how efficient it will be, but they are being pushed. So we're going to see a little less consumption, and with people not being able to spend as much money this coming holiday season, fuel costs, transportation costs are going to go down. However, this is probably going to be the worst performing holiday season we've had probably in 50 years. Probably since the Great Depression, because right now people are shopping for Thanksgiving and it's way, way too expensive still. Food is way too expensive. Food is just way too expensive. we don't have enough truckers to ship all the food everywhere. So we're starting to get more and more food deserts, which nobody's talking about, especially like out in the middle of rural areas. Like you're talking Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Kansas, Nebraska, uh, parts of Nevada, things like that. The those grocery stores are closing up because it's just too expensive to get the food from where it's being warehoused to them. They're not People can't afford to pay the truck drivers, and truck drivers are quitting in droves. uh it is interesting though that shout out to Crypto Dream. It is interesting that it is flat, because, and I think it flattened out because consumer consumption curved all the way back. Like people just stopped buying, stopped doing anything else. Shout out to Joan. Yeah, time to get a CDL. CDL drivers are in demand. Let me tell you something. Walmart used to hire CDL drivers for 65K a year. Now they are hiring them for $135,000 a
So,
year.
I have a question for you.
Certainly.
So you know how I am, like you know how my personality is. I like the idea of getting into CDO. Like I really want to get my CDO. Do you think I would have? I mean, I'm confident I would be able to do it. But do you think I'd have the personality to do it? Because I like being on the road. Whenever I used to have a driving job, I used to love driving. I used to love being on the road.
It is a good thing. You have to be good about self management of time. You have to be able to you have to really see if you can stay awake the whole time, because uh it does it just it's just one of those things. It takes a unique personality, but I think more and more people can do it. It's a little harder now with the e-logs and rules and regulations, like especially for Walmart. Walmart, you got to adhere to their rules, period, or else they will
Fire
put
you,
you
yeah.
heartbeat, and they will fire you if you're 2,000 miles away from home until you get out of the truck. And Walmart has the ability to have their dispatch center in Bentonville, Arkansas, turn the truck off, so you can't start it, so you have to leave the truck. So they can do a lot of things. Just be careful what company you get to work for. If you're thinking about OTR, what I would do is start working for like Dominion or XPO as one of their local like 500-mile range drivers, like daily drive type things where you deliver around like in a certain mile radius, and that'll get you used to driving. See if you're comfortable, because you'll find out things that you might not know, like driving for 4 hours might force you, no matter how hard you try, that you have to like like take a 30-minute nap after 4 hours of drive. Like I find out that a lot of times my hardest part is like that early afternoon. For some reason I fall into this, even though I shouldn't be sleepy, I fall right into really being sleepy. But then after like 4:30 and I have like an energy drink, I'm back on the road and it's like nothing happened. But let's talk a little bit about ETH, because the inflation is going to be flat, and they're definitely going to try and push inflation down flat for November too. So just be a little bit weary of that. That the inflation data is still being it's kind of it's heavily manipulated by reserves and market pressure. So it's not moving organically, as in my opinion. But let's get on to Ethereum. Um, Ethereum is Ethereum is still one of the ones I think you have one of the highest return on investments. Cody and I have a price target for the bull run of $10,000 to $12,000 per Ethereum. Mainly,
I made a post on Reddit about me holding Ethereum, and a lot of people criticized me saying, "Good luck with that," or "ETH is going to be beaten out," or "ETH is not going to make it." And I'm still seeing people say that. So the fact that there's people still saying that, it low key makes me more bullish.
yeah, exactly. And the big thing though is that's got me is that the real big thing that's got me on this is that what's when the bull market happens and more average retail investors get in, the purchase and storing of ERC20 tokens is going to increase. So the demand to burn ETH to move it off of hard wallets is going to increase. As plus, I think NFTs will experience a small little comeback, nothing spectacular, and gaming tokens, which are derived off of Ethereum, are going to have a huge win, as well as Ethereum-based ETFs. Major investment firms are holding both Bitcoin and Ethereum, so the value is going to skyrocket, as well as the average investor is going to want to start buying it too. So just that's my thought. I think it's going to make it. Now it will be beat out eventually as a top 2 spot, but it's still going to be in the top 10. I just don't see
Yeah.
it going anywhere. But Cody, share
Yeah.
some of your thoughts.
Yeah, Ethereum overall is going to make it. The fact that Amazon has Ethereum as listed as an AWS blockchain, like that's a big thing. People forget that Amazon actually talked about Ethereum. You can actually go on AWS Amazon. They talk about ETH.
Mhm.
And that's huge. And ETH does a lot of things. It's just people's frustrations with ETH are still the fees and just overall scalability of it. Like a lot of people just still see ETH as like slow and it's expensive. I mean, I agree. Those things are true. I mean, it is slow, it is expensive, but overall, ETH as an asset is great. It's not the store of value Bitcoin is, but ETH overall will make it, especially with the decentralized apps. You got ERC20s. You have to have ETH to be able to move those. Like even the largest quant wallets. I saw this one wallet. He had $1 million in quant, and he had 0.01 ETH just to be able to move it.
Yeah. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. So there's our thoughts on Ethereum for you guys. Terrible Tim, shout out to you. Do you do regular stock trading? Well, I have a stock portfolio. My stock portfolio, as of last Sunday when we checked it on our What's in Your Portfolio, is sitting right at 1.974 million. I of course, a lot of these stocks this has been a portfolio I've been building over the last 20 years. But I don't do day trading, if that's what you're referring to, or like turnaround trading. I just invest, hold, and until I hit a time when I just decide to exit out or reduce my holdings in it. So, and I did see you there about Tesla split. A shout out to Marcus. Will Tesla split again? I don't think it'll split soon because it probably already happened, but I haven't been paying attention to Tesla really since I sold it in 2018. It was one I had got in 2012 during the IPO, bought a lot of shares, sold it, and my opinion, and same thing back then in 2018 was it's kind of it's kind of done in its growth. There's really not much else to do. And they're not coming out with a cost-effective EV vehicle. By cost-effective, I mean something that comes out that you could retail for 15,000. No one's doing it. So, and I think Toyota and Honda are aiming for that bracket. So, my automakers I'm watching is Toyota and Honda because they're hitting that hard and they're delivering vehicles that are not only aesthetically pleasing to what the market wants, but they're also delivering on reliability, fuel
Well,
efficiency.
Toyota and Honda has the capital to be able to do that. Tesla is well established financially, but when comparing it to Toyota and Honda, they're not even close. Like Toyota and Honda have them beat on earnings by a long shot, and you can't compete with an established brand like Toyota and Honda. I mean, even at the dealerships, you have people saying there's like the Honda tax, the Toyota tax, meaning that just
Mhm.
because they're Honda and Toyota, they have gone up in cost over the years, but they're still cost effective to where, yeah, you're spending like 45 grand on a vehicle, but they're gonna last a long
Yeah, they're gonna
freaking
last like
time.
about a decade. But the thing about it is Toyota and Honda are bringing manufacturing to the US. So
Yeah,
keep that in mind. They're bringing jobs and they're bringing products that the average person can afford. So I mean, they're aiming for a new EV vehicle that's going to be priced at 17K
we need an
around.
electric Corolla,
Yeah,
like fully electric, not hybrid.
I don't think it's going. This one's a Corolla, but it's based off of their older model, the Yaris, which is like a smaller version of the
Oh,
Corolla.
I've seen the Yaris.
So it's based off of that, which I think is good for like if you're in New York City, Philadelphia, a big city. That's going to be really helpful because it's a small car, easy maintenance, cheap. I mean, a tire set's like $200 on those cars. Maintenance is like $100 for routine 6 months maintenance. So it's like you're talking about a very cost-effective, affordable vehicle for the mass public, and that's what they're going to bring and manufacture out in Ohio. And I noticed on our normal route down through Mississippi that they also purchased an old auto plant that's right off the highway of I think it's I-22 or whatever. No, whatever that highway is. It's like 5 or something, but it's right off there, cuts through, goes from Memphis all the way through to Birmingham, and right in Mississippi, to right past Tupelo, is a plant that they actually purchased, and it says future home of a Toyota plant. Um, Shout out to K Max. Hey, my XRP is going up. Is it a bull run yet? No,
No.
it's not a bull run. It was a relief rally. The bull run is still about a year and a half away, in my opinion, although most people are saying about 8 months to a year away. Shout out to Problem Solver. What's up to you too, buddy? Glad to have you in here. ETH is way too expensive. It is. It is. I don't think it's too high to invest in right now to dollar cost average in. It is one of the ones, along with Quant and H bar, that I'm just dollar cost averaging in every day a little bit, no matter what the price is right now. So I am still going. It's still holding Ethereum right now. Ethereum is 13% of my portfolio.
It is 40% of mine.
So, and yeah, as Cody says, it's 40% of his. So, we are looking for we're looking for a nice turnaround on ETH, but I'm holding ETH for like a real long term, and I still see the value there. I also see that more retail investors are going to pile in.
I know a girl. I know a girl who said she was buying ETH at 2020 back at 350, 250.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she must have been stacked, has a good stack by now.
I don't think
Especially
she kept it till the bull run, but she did buy some, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people in 2020, like they might have bought ETH, but did they hold it? Probably not.
shout out to Problem Solver gas fees. Oh yeah, the Ethereum gas fees are expensive, so it's like you gotta time it. So you gotta time your exit strategy right with Ethereum and ERC20 tokens because
What I've noticed is people are calling Caspa like the new ETH killer, and there's always an ETH killer. There's always like this new layer two, and layer twos are great, but we need to solve the ETH scalability problem. And Caspa, people say Caspa solves the trilemma, but I don't know how to feel about it just yet. Like Caspa, like yeah, you could get a great ROI on it. I'm not saying it's a rug pull or anything like that. It just seems like the Caspa shills are like going crazy.
yeah, and I think Casper will do well just because people believe it will be the ETH killer. Anything that people believe will be the ETH killer will probably have the same uh, chart pattern as Solana because people thought Solana was going to kill ETH and it rose
It didn't.
quickly and then it went back down. So I mean, if you're investing in Casper right now and it goes to 250, I mean that's crazy. And shout out to CJ Jones. Welcome back in. Glad to have you in here. Definitely really appreciate you joining in for live. What's a 100x coin? I don't think there really is any 100x coin, but the best value for run up is probably going to be Casper or H bar because they're low enough that where they're going to hit in the bull run might get close to that, but we're probably gonna see them really just get like H bar has a potential of being really probably about a 5, like a fit at the highest 50x up there. But I see H bar but over $1, maybe $1.50, maybe 250. But that's with it all depends on the macro level of the economy, because if retail investors don't get the extra money to invest, then the bull run won't be as great as we're kind of hoping it will be.
Because crypto does rely on excess liquidity. You got to remember that.
Yes, especially right now, because it still doesn't operate like the stock market. So, like in the stock market, if you sell like Bank of America shares and there's no one to buy them that day, the desk clerk is obligated to buy those shares from you. So, yeah, they're back in. It's the retail investors are going to provide that liquidity kind of, or really the value buildup in there, because they need money to invest, because right now there's the mental drive for retail investors to make a lot of money to get out of their situation, but they need money to start investing, and that's where it's going to have, that's when the true bull run's really going to start to affect. Shout out to Problem Solver. Quant, yeah, Quant's another good one. I think that has the highest return on investment that I have in my portfolio right now, because we're looking between 1,500 and 2,000 price target for the bull run on Quant. I don't like the fact that it's a centralized banking token. That's my really only dislike.
That's what
But
a lot of people's.
as far as an investor, when I know that big money is investing in this and investing in it quietly, that's where I should be going, because they're only putting their money into where they see big turnarounds on investment. So I may be a step behind, but I'll still make a decent amount of money on my investment. But overall, I think Quant is here for a very long time.
Oh
And
yeah.
even though I'll cash out a lot of profits on Quant during this next bull run, I will still get back into it, and I'll probably be holding it for a very long time. But as of right now, it's still down about 1.5% or 1.25%, hovering at 102. It looks like once again during uh, yesterday evening was probably the best time to get in, because it was at $99 and it kind of spiked up. So it seems like the $100 is the new resistance level, and it's just going to be bouncing between that
Yes.
probably for the next several days. We probably won't see 85 until we see a big market correction on it.
I should have bought at 85 because Quant was doing that all summer of 2023. All Quant did was bounce from late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, 100, then 106, then it would fall to 95, and it just kept doing that. That's a huge resistance level.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Black Cyber. Just search on Twitter and get Telegram for some call channels. Won't get rich off top 100, bro. Well, I'm crypto isn't the only sort. Well, crypto is only 10% of my net worth, and my crypto portfolio is 1.9 million. I don't look for that type of quick gains, because quick gains, one, quick gains means high taxes. Two, quick gains also mean slow problems a lot of the times. And most likely you on those calls, you end up being the liquidity for someone else. What I focus on is I build my cash flow first, send out steady investments. Right now, I've reached my target of where I got into the 8-figure net worth with my companies, my real estate properties, and all the investments I've been doing. And now what I'm doing is using all the bit of cash flow that comes in to reinvest, because this is really the perfect time for me in my position to keep reinvesting in things, keep growing and keep building. And then I'll hit the target, because you're really not going to hit that target by trying to grab these quick, like quick cash turnarounds, because you'll get one, but the odds are eventually you're going to hit a big loss. And I've been a trader for 9 years on Wall Street with private equity firms and private banking, and I could tell you, you'll get some wins, you'll get a small win here, medium win here, medium win here, medium win here, but then you'll have like one catastrophic loss where it just wipes you out completely. And I've seen people go a negative $1 billion, and you don't want to go negative in that market, because when you start trading on liquidity and shorts and calls and margins, you got to pay that by the end of the day. And you can fall, and the fall can be infinite. So just be careful on that. That's why I don't like getting on those things. Shout out to Blitz and Spray. Welcome back in. Glad to have you in here. Shout out to Problem Solver. Is HBAR ISO compliant? I believe it's ISO 222. I think if they aren't compliant, they should be. I'm still reading a lot of articles on it at the end of every night. Shout out to Joan. Call options can make or break you. Exactly. Like a bad call option can completely wipe you out to where your life is screwed. So just be careful about call options. Only make a bet that you can afford to handle if you lose. Don't make a wild bet if you can't cover it, because they will take everything and then they'll put a lien on your person, which is the worst type of lien, because then they can garnish your wages. So don't just be very careful about that. Shout out to Johnny. Market is ridiculous. It is kind of going crazy. We're actually looks like we're heading into what's called a reverse market crash. And that's going to be pretty bad for the average American. Hopefully, like I said, they should have just kept pounding those interest rates, and because they need to, like, they don't just need to pop the bubble, they need to like rip it apart with like extreme force and not put it back together and let it come back together itself. That way the market can really reset, and that it will hurt in the beginning, but in the long run it'll be good for everybody. Shout out to CJ Jones ADA prediction. Let's see here. I don't really have a prediction on ADA. I just believe that it's starting to make a nice turnaround. It's got one of the highest developer count. That there's still a lot going on. It has a good return on ROI. We probably will see it double I think it's all-time high. It was like a little over $3 because like I'm thinking like 650, but there is some work being done on it. But once again, the value-driven increase is going to be heavily reliant on retail investors and on the developers and the faith in the projects that are being put on it. But I do see the average retailer getting into retail investor getting into ADA simply for the staking, because almost everybody stakes it either on liquidity pools or you can stake it directly with Cardano.
I'm actually going to add some ADA in my portfolio, to be honest, and stake it on my ledger.
Yeah, and it's a good option to have. I'm thinking about adding it to my portfolio, but it's not going to be any more than 5% of what I have in my portfolio, because I'm still focused on Chainlink, Quant, and Ethereum, building those. I also have XRP, AdShare, Litecoin, and Solana, a little bit of Solana. Solana is only 1% of my portfolio. HBAR is 1%. Litecoin is 6%. AdShare is 9%. And I'm trying to get AdShare up to about 10%, about a 10 to 11% of my portfolio. So I'm kind of waiting for those coins to go down a little bit so I can increase my holdings in that. Shout out to Black Cyber. You can make bread on meme coins, not top 100. You got to have a big bag for them, unless you're trading like these guys.
Well, see, what you're saying depends on how much money you have. So if you're investing in the top 100 and you have 10,000 or more, you're going to make a big return. However, if you're investing $1,000 or $2,000 into the top 100, you're not going to get a huge return. It sounds like to me you're just trying to turn $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 into a huge moonshot. That's not what me and Sal are trying to do, because we already have more liquidity. If you have 10,000 and up, I mean, you really shouldn't be gambling on meme coins. It's just a stupid chase, in my opinion. If you invest in the established blue chip coins and you hold it into the bull run, more than likely you're going to make a solid return. The people, in my opinion, who are chasing after $2,000 to $200,000 moonshots, sounds like to me that it's just like they're not as dedicated. They're really not. And I mean, you can say, oh, you don't like money, this and that. Oh, I like money. I like high ROI. That's cool. You can still make high ROI and blue chips. You just need to keep stacking those bags.
Yeah, dollar cost averaging is key to really being um is really key to building, especially if you're focused on blue chip cryptos and stocks. You have to get your head around dollar cost averaging and constant steady um investing into the equity so that way they can grow with the exponential growth. And it's slow starting, but once you get it going, it really starts going forward. So like my dividend portfolio, it took like 10 years to get to get even to half of where it is now, because it just took constant investing. Like I was putting in sometimes $500 or $600, and then when I was making more. Like at one point, I was making about $280,000 a year working as a general manager for a furniture store, and I was putting away like 1,500 a week into it at one point. I was just constantly dumping into it, but then all of a sudden, the dividends increased on the companies, and it just started rolling on its own. So it takes a while, but that's part of our society. Is kind of like I want the return and the
Instant gratification.
result right now,
We
and that's
actually
not gonna
talked about this on stream yesterday. It's like the instant gratification, it actually kills wealth. The
happen. It
idea
does.
that you can't invest into the top 100 and you need a $2,000 moonshot, that is what makes people poor. It's keeping you poor. The meme coins, yeah, they have gained traction in the past, but you don't know if they can always do it. And those are highly manipulated. Just in my opinion, start building coins like Chainlink, start building coins like Quant and Polkadot, and then once you start getting your bag really heavy, you can start buying ETH and stuff like that. And you can gamble just a tiny bit in the meme coins, but my strategy is after you have a lot of money into the top 100 coins, then you should start dabbling just a little bit into meme coins. That way you're just balancing your portfolio and you still have
Mhm.
optimized heavy gains. And a lot of
Exactly.
people don't think like that. They just want to ape into a shit coin, become rich, and say, "Oh, I don't have to work ever again." And with that mentality, you're just gonna blow everything you earned from that moonshot. You're not going to increase your wealth with that mentality. Yeah, it's one thing to make that moonshot, but it's another to just be smart and increase your wealth. And it sounds like to me, people with that mentality, they don't really increase their wealth. They just stay complacent and they eventually let the money dry up.
Yes, and unfortunately, like I tell you guys all the time, especially on the business, the when we do what's in your business streams, like running this amount of money and managing it is exhausting. It is tiresome. And I always say to you guys, if I did had to do this all over again, I'd just go back to corporate America, get a mid-level executive job for mid six figures, and just live life, just live life like that. Because that's a hell of a lot easier than managing and doing all this stuff consistently. It's just it's just exhausting because I'm constantly looking, constantly adjusting, constantly looking at numbers. I know, like this morning, we're a little late on the live because I'm going over all my numbers. I'm looking at how much I got to pay out for my moving company, how much is coming in, where do we need, is everyone hitting their targets? It's very hard to run and manage that type of wealth to where you can keep growing it and not lose it. But I will say this: a lot of people would see what I have because, like in my moving company, I have 2.5 years of reserve funds. So that means if I don't have a single client for 2 whole years, I can pay all my people their regular salary, pay all my bills and everything. Same thing with my properties. I have a ton of money, well into the seven figures. Like I think at the end of this month, after all the deposits are collected and everything, we'll have roughly about 7 million in reserve, and that's in reserve for what if there's a tornado, what if there's a flood, what if there's a fire, what if the roof needs fixed, what if a pipe bursts, what if um we get the wrong tenant in? What if something else happens? Like covering all the any weird basics. So it's just exhausting that you have to do this, but you have to do that work in order to maintain that type of wealth. There's no way around it. Like anyone who says like my life is easy, is like no. Now you can have a business and be easy if you have the blessing to find and hire the right people. And sometimes some of us don't hire the right people or find the right people that can help ease ease some of the burdens off and be able to have them take over that side of the business. So, and now I'm at the point now where like I'm getting ready to hire really a president of my moving company to handle all the things of my moving company and deal with expanding it. I'll be visiting with them like once a month, things like that, to help keep that business going while watching it. But I still watch all the finances every day, like first thing 5 o'clock in the morning, looking at the bank accounts to make sure what's going on. Did everything come in? Does it match the reports that everyone gave me? Things like that. So it's never easy trying to build wealth. It's never is, and it was never meant to be. It's a hard thing. That's why only 1% of the human population ever gets there. Shout out to Blitz and Spray. What do you think about Cosmo giving 10% for staking? I think that's good, but about a month and a half ago, I exited out of my position of Atom and I sold everything. I had been staking it. I was getting a pretty good return on it. I think I was getting about staking it in a DeFi liquidity pool, and it was giving me like 11%. But I got rid of it because I value Chainlink a little better than I do Cosmo and the Cosmo environment and Atom. So that's just my position. I still watch it. I still track it. I pay attention to it. I'm just not invest. It's not in my portfolio anymore. Shout out to Blitz and Spray. Whoa, I guess that was to my portfolio announcement. But you guys can check out and you look on the lives every Sunday. We do what's in your portfolio. So we go over my wins, losses, increases, gains, and in my portfolio and all my businesses. Shout out to Joan. Look up to you, buddy. You're so inspirational. I hope I am, because like I've done a lot of mistakes. So hopefully, as you guys learn more about me and what I do to build my wealth, you guys can avoid some of the mistakes that I make. Shout out to Problem Solver. No emotions. Exactly. You can't have emotions to your investments. You got to think logically. And shout out to Black Cyber. We're already made millions. I'm talking about little guys, but be smart though. That's true. You always got to be smart. And let me send that back. Always got to be smart about what you're investing in, and make sure you do your research on there. Shout out to Crypto Cleaner. Shout out to Blitz and Spray. Do you do private loans? If so, what's the interest? I don't really do private loans. I did that a few times, got burned pretty badly, and still have a few of them that I will never be able to collect on. So I just don't do it. I will invest in a business if I could take an equity position if the business makes sense. Other than that, I don't invest for someone else to. I don't loan money for someone else to invest in. That's a very bad idea. What I do is just I'll invest in your business if it's great. If not, then hey, at least we got the chance to look at it. And shout out to Black Cyber for the follow. Really appreciate that. Shout out to Crypto Cleaner. What's a reverse market crash? It's where we have rapid inflation, where rapid inflation is causing the value of liquidatable assets to rise exponentially in price. And that's kind of the big fear right now. But if inflation is going flat, probably not. If anything, we're going to start going in a downward. So it's kind of like where we have a downward crash in the market, but instead, all of a sudden, like the best way to describe it is like if you went into the grocery store, cost of bread was $5 on the shelf, but by the time you got to the register, it's $10. That's a kind of a reverse market crash. It's where the currency absolutely loses all its value and can spike exponentially. Kind of what happened to Venezuela. Shout out to Chris Matic. Well, our thoughts on Matic is it's definitely one of the good gaming tokens. There's a lot that can be said about what their platform is doing. There's a lot of faith in it by the community. As you see, they almost have 1 million followers on Coin Market Cap. But here's the thing: is like the more I keep looking at it, I think, and I think many other people are thinking like me, is that they have a strong potential to be the play to earn token for GTA 6 and a few other big games like Call of Duty is talking about having a play to earn. Halo's
Let's
talking about
see.
having a play to earn. Madden, NBA
Ubisoft.
2K. It's just they all are going to have a play to earn in the next couple of years. They're just waiting on regulation and talking with SEC lawyers and trying to make it happen.
But
That's
speaking of the U.S. dollar, I was looking at the DXY, the U.S. dollar index, and
Mhm.
if you look on the past 24 hours, it's dropping. Like that chart is dropping. The U.S. dollar index, the DXY. Look at that chart. It's just dropping. It's down 1.31% for the day.
Oh, come on. No. I don't want notifications. Sorry about the
Kind
guys.
of
Let me just
interesting to look at the U.S. dollar right now and how the U.S. dollar is just going down. It's kind of like what you were talking about with Venezuela, except that wouldn't happen in our country. But it is crazy to see the U.S. dollar just dropping.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to pull it up here. US dollar index chart. Let me just try to pull that up. Make sure I get the right one. Okay, here we go. You said what, DXY?
Yeah, DXY, the U.S. dollar index.
All right, let's share this tab. Here, no, I don't want to log in. I don't want to create an account. Um,
Yeah,
so
look at
yeah,
that.
yeah,
We're in
it
the
had a
red.
huge drop. A lot of this has the correlation
Stock
with
market equities.
that too, but with the bonds, because a lot of the U.S. debt was being bought up by China, Russia, and Japan, and all three of them stopped buying. And one, Russia's been sanctioned out, so they can't buy. China
Yep.
stopped buying because they didn't want to be put in the position of Russia, and Japan's not buying because well, they're cash rich right now, and it's not what their country and economy needs. They
I
need
just think it's ridiculous how like our taxpayer money, our money is pretty much being used to fund other countries in Ukraine. Like I get that there's a lot of stuff behind it, but it's just crazy how it's literally all of our money and
Mhm.
it's being used to aid other freaking countries like Ukraine, and it's ridiculous. It's like we need aid. Why aid other countries? We need aid. We That's $100 billion of taxpayer money that could be used on this country. Why do we need to use $100 billion on Ukraine and all these other countries? I don't get it.
Yeah, I could tell you the one thing is that if there's a quote unquote American occupation of basically Ukraine because we'll be defending Ukraine is because Ukraine has one of the highest contents of rare earth. And rare earth is used in cell phones, computers, electronics, circuit boards, quantum computing. Well, it's a very, as the name says, it's rare and it's very rare and it's very valuable. And Ukraine has a lot of it. The problem with that is that doesn't have Ukraine the doesn't have the infrastructure to be able to capitalize on it. That's the problem. And if they can fix that'd be great. But overall, it's they have that resource. It's not being capitalized on, and they need to capitalize on it. But what's going to happen is the U.S. needs it, especially since we're moving semiconductor manufacturing to Arizona, New Mexico. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. But we need a lot of rare earths now. Elon Musk has been talking, saying, "Hey, let's just go to space and get it instead of fighting these wars. We can just go up into space." And he's actually right. It is cheaper to go out into space and more effective for humanity to do that instead of fight each other over it in our on our planet. Shout out to Blitz and Spray and Black Cyber for the follow. Really appreciate that. Shout out to Black Cyber. I do apologize for getting to this so late. Um, what stocks do you hold? I can go over that real briefly for you, buddy. The stocks I hold are Bank of America, NLY, Walmart, Coinbase, HCA, which is a healthcare association, BlackRock, AT&T Mobility, Apple, Microsoft, Porch Moving Group, and ORC. Yep. So I hope we got that over there. Shout out to Joan, speaking facts. Shout out to Crypto Caddy. Welcome in. Glad to have no one of our great great providers out.
Day one moderator. Day one.
Yeah, day one moderator. So shout out to her. Thanks for all your support and welcome in. Not our American homeless and veterans. Agree 100%, Cody. Yeah, we should be helping them. We should be doing $100 billion can go a long way.
Yeah, our veterans. Like when I worked at Walmart, for example, at the gas station, a lot of those homeless people I talked to, they were veterans. They were screwed over by our government. A lot of these people, they're struggling veterans. They're homeless. They don't have. It's like they weren't taken care of. Yet our country's sending $100 billion to other freaking countries when our veterans need to be taken care of. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if we could take care of our veterans, that would solve probably 80% of the homeless issues, because like in a lot of southern states like Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Kansas, Missouri, and even parts of Texas, a lot of the homeless were veterans, and some, they just kind of dump them off. Shout out to Crypto Caddy. The VA is in shambles. We volunteered there, and it was so sad. Yeah. I've seen a lot of former duty member veterans active duty. The VA is just not good. It's kind of like it's state healthcare at its finest, basically. And if you wanted state healthcare, that's basically what it's going to turn into. And it's we shouldn't be treating the people that fought and gave their body, life, soul, and blood for the freedoms that everyone shares here with such treatment and such disregard. We really should be able to give them a comfortable life. Like they should get if you served 8 years or served in a war, you should get some type of pension along with the VA benefits, saying, "Hey, here's an extra $20K for the year." So that you can, thanks for your service, things like that. Like I will be happy to pay extra taxes, even if the government comes out and says, "Hey, I need you, Sal, to pay an extra $1 million a year off of each business's taxes to cover for the VA." I'll happily do it.
Yeah, it's just those incentives aren't being passed.
I don't mind making less profit to cover that. What I don't like is getting taxed heavily, and then the tax money is not being used effectively, going elsewhere. Because I produce a lot of tax revenue with my 4 businesses, not as much as some big companies, but for what businesses we have, it's a lot, and it's got to be used effectively.
I saw a video of this veteran crying. He was saying that this is not what these boys died for. This is not what our people died for. All of what's going on, this is not what they died for. And I agree. None of this is what they died for. Yeah, we do have freedom. Yeah, we do have a lot more than other countries. But those people didn't die for all that just for our veterans to be treated like shit and the country mismanaging money. Like, isn't it crazy how our country and the higher ups and the elite, they can mismanage these funds, they can mismanage taxpayer money. But as soon as we mismanage funds, we mismanage our tax money, oh, we're in trouble. Oh, we have people coming after us. But it's like the country, they can disrespect and dump off veterans, not treat veterans right, and they can mismanage their funds, mismanage our money. It's ridiculous. And a lot of people, they're just blind and they vote these bad actors in. They don't care about voting good actors in. They just want whatever just benefits them.
Exactly. And shout out to Mark. Thanks for sponsoring the live there. Definitely glad to have you in here. Shout out to Live and Learn. It's unacceptable. Yeah, it is very unacceptable, but welcome
And the
in.
people won't revolt. Like that's the issue. Like people will not revolt. You'll see people post all over TikTok, and people thinking that posting on TikTok is a way of revolting. But in reality, most people will not revolt. Like it's crazy. Like what is it going to take for people to revolt? What is it going to take?
Well, I can
Like
answer that for you. I can answer that for you, Cody. The reason why people don't revolt is because it's a cause they're not willing to spill their precious blood for. So it's like I try to tell people, like, when people say, "Oh, well, it's you know, if what if the," because I let me try to put this in a TikTok friendly way, but I was talking to someone. This was maybe a year ago, and they said, "Well, what if the alt right comes into power and they take away your rights and racism and Jim Crow comes back?" Then I told him, "Then I guess I'm going to die because you're not going to take away my rights and make me do anything I don't want to do and take away everything that I worked hard for, because you're going to have to fight. And it's either you're going to get me or I'm going to get you. But I would rather die free than live shackled." And that is how you have to be. The problem is that a lot of young people, they want to get upset over this stuff, but you're willing to be oppressed and save your life rather than say, "No, I would rather die free than to live shackled." And that's what the United States is all about. Live free or die. Like, live free or die trying. It's like there's no, "Oh, well, I'm happy, I'm complacent." That's kind of what we want for our food, and like cattle and pigs. Like, we want our food to be happy and complacent, not as humans. It's be free or I'm gonna die free. It's like there's
That's a
no.
pretty good explanation. I can see that. You know, it would have to take something really catastrophic for somebody, for the like the majority of the population to want to die for. It would have to take something like that for people to revolt. And
Well,
I
I
guess our economy going to shit, and I
mhm.
guess the elites using our money wrong. I guess that's not enough for people. I guess it would take a lot more.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not enough. What's more, what's mo- what I'm surprised about is when Roe v. Wade, because this is why I say, as soon as Roe v. Wade was overturned, and the alt, and I call them the alt left, did not
Yep.
stand up and say, "Oh no, we're dying on this hill."
No, they just
That's
cried
when I
all over
knew.
TikTok.
Yeah, that's when I knew. Give me 1 second, Cody. That's when I knew that they would rather be the pig in the pen. As long as the food's there, as long as there's a roof over their head, as long as the big brother is taking care of them, they don't care. And I told you, if you can't die for that right, then you will never ever be free. And once they crossed that line, and once they crossed the line, you said we cannot cross, and you did nothing. It was over. Now they're going to keep taking away, because they took away Roe v. Wade, which wasn't just about abortion. It's also about body autonomy. And that also played into vaccinations, mandated things. Because now they can if they want to bring out like a chip and put it into your hand, they can mandate it because Roe v. Wade is overturned. So you can say, no, you
Amazon's
can.
already doing something like that with the
Yeah.
AI Palm.
Yep. And also, it's like, let's just say birth rates go too low. Government can say, hey, all childbearing women, yeah, you guys are gonna have kids. Oh, no. Roe v. Wade was overturned. You don't have body autonomy anymore. So now, so you see how the ball starts rolling, the snowball effect starts rolling and
It's
rolling.
deeper than abortion.
And it's deeper than just abortion. It's like you let them cross a line that you said could not be crossed. Now every line can be crossed without opposition. You are just the pig headed to slaughter now. That's all it is. And like I said, because there are people out there, it's like, you have to take like the gun, like the Second Amendment, Second Amendment advocates. You try to take their guns, they gonna fight. They're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
fight. They don't care. They're gonna fight. They don't care. You step across that line even 1 millimeter, they're fighting. That's how the alt left should have been about Roe v. Wade. And because they didn't do that, everything else went down. And they were so focused on, hey, let me get this free money for student loans, get this all wiped out. And I can tell you right now, whether it gets wiped out or doesn't, I'm profiting. You know why? Because I own the companies that handle the student loan debt. So if the government pays, I make a lot of money. If you pay, I make a lot of money. That's the problem. What you should have done is sat down and said, hey, let me see about this. Let me learn about finances before I start taking on a loan obligation that I can't bankruptcy out of, that has a high amount of interest, and I'll never be able to pay the principal back.
So pretty much the summary of what you're saying is it doesn't matter what people cry about on social media, as long as Big Brother is handing out these incentives and sending politicians out talking about student loan forgiveness, they're not going to fight. They're just going to cry and not fight, and that's it.
Exactly. Shout out to Crypto Caddy. Student loan debt forgiveness was just a character for votes. They can't do it.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was a character for votes, but it's not that they can't do it. They just won't do it. They never had the intention to do it. They sure, they don't care. They'll print money, pay it out, but the money just comes right back to them. So they don't care.
You know how in crypto,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Cody.
when you go on CoinMarketCap, you see all these buzzwords on these cryptos and stuff. That's kind of like what politicians do. They'll talk about student loan forgiveness, this and that, and you have these people like, wow, like I like him, wow. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. How CoinMarketCap, you have these coins listed with all these buzzwords, and it'll more likely attract newbie investors who are vulnerable.
Yes, and it's just like a lot of people said, "Oh, we're not going to pay our student loans back." Okay, now they'll garnish your Social Security and your retirement funds. Wow, you made such a play. Now you have to work harder. When you have to even harder now, because your retirement and everything you're trying to work for isn't even outpacing inflation, and now they're going to garnish that at the end when you need it the most. Wonderful, and it's like they're just trying to push you like actual cattle. It's like some of the way that it's like the dream of the alt left is to be a sheep, just get shaved for the wool, and then when you're done, that gets slaughtered for the meat, and then your bones are left to rot and become fertilizer. Like that, like I don't want to live in existence like that. I value human life way more than that. Animals is it's an animal. We eat it. It's an animal. We eat it to survive. We respect the animal, but at the end of the day, a human life is more important than the animal, and we don't want to be treated like the animal.
And it's crazy because when you talk about these statements and these opinions, people are saying, "Oh, you're just brainwashed by the far right, right wing, right wing, right wing." It's like it's all I hear. It's like just because I don't agree with alt left perspectives and what's taught in universities, that doesn't make me ultra right wing. Like I can't stand the mentality of these people, and it seems like majority alt left is becoming majorly popular nowadays. Like I genuinely believe that alt left like mentality that's just slowly bleeding into universities. It's bleeding into public schools. And it seems like they're just trying to sway young people that way because they see Gen Z characteristics matching and aligning with the alt left.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate, but it's the way it's gonna play out. Shout out to Crypto Caddy. The Supreme Court ruled student loan forgiveness unconstitutional. Yeah, you couldn't wipe out the debts. Because one, the deleting of debt, they couldn't wipe it out as in just like take the ledger and just put whiteout over it. They couldn't do that. What they only could do was go in and say, hey, we'll postpone interest, things like that. We'll allow certain government affiliated programs, but wiping out the student debt meant wiping out the pursuit of happiness of another individual because they sold the debt. So that's pretty much it. And we also can't unanimously rule on behalf of all states. However, even if it does get forgiven or they give like a government subsidy to pay off a large percentage of student loans debt up to a certain amount, it's still like, what do you do for the people that paid it off? What do you do for the people that worked hard, paid it off, did what they're supposed to do? Now they don't participate, and you tax them to pay back for those people. And plus that huge amount of influx, because I think the student loan debt's over 1.4 trillion. Um, what do you do? Like, what's 1.4 trillion going to do to the currency and the economy? That's a lot of cash being pushed into the market, even if it goes to mostly wealthy people. It's still a lot of cash. Assets will, like, your housing values will skyrocket. Cost of doing business would skyrocket. Cost of living would skyrocket. Rents would skyrocket. Taxes would skyrocket. So it would just be a never ending cycle. And unfortunately, that would push us into a point where we would be like Venezuela, where we would have to switch to some type of bartering system or something instead of using the US dollar as a currency of exchange.
Yeah. I actually I'm enjoying this live. This is probably one of my favorite lives that we've done in a minute because I'm learning a lot. I say this every stream that I learn a lot. This is probably one of my favorite episodes, honestly. I mean, we're getting really into it. We're touching on things that really matter. I like that we're cryptos, like we show crypto stuff, we talk about crypto, but at the same time I really like how we dabble into the world in general because the world and society and how people act and how the elites act, that all is hand in hand with finance and making money. I don't care what anybody says. I like that we're talking about this stuff.
Exactly, and that's it. It's investing takes all viewerships and avenues. Shout out to Danny Boy. Student loan debt is government greatest asset, 1.1 trillion. The government great asset is 45%. Shout out to Live and Learn. I agree. Yeah, student loan debt. Ever since that ruling in I think it was early 2000s where they made it so you can't bankruptcy out of student loans. That was the beginning of the end. Uh, that was the beginning of all the chaos because all of a sudden, because when I went to college, it was in the late 90s, and I was getting 0% student loans. So, and I had up to 5 years of deferment. So that means I could work 5 years and not have to pay anything and be interest free. And so what I did was I worked 3 years, saved up the money, paid it off. And that's what you're supposed to do because I knew if I paid off my loans, that means someone else could now take advantage of those loans. Well, ever since that ruling, now you can have 18% student loans. And there's no way. 18% is a lot. And it's kind of like a payday loan program. You won't ever be able to escape the interest and the fees. So you're just perpetually in debt, which is just a new form of slavery and perpetually shackled to your debt. And you can't do things in life because of debt. I don't know why people keep saying I don't view debt. Debt is just a shackle. I always view debt as a shackle, even for my business. I want to get it off, pay it off, get it off the books, and be done with it. That way, no one can come for me, no one can stop me, no one can, shut down my bank accounts because like I missed a payment or anything. No, we're not doing that. Pay that
Yeah, see,
crap off and move on with life.
that's how I feel about my credit card debt. Like what's in my investment portfolio is 5 times more than my credit card debt. Like I only owe about 3,000 something dollars on my credit card. But my crypto and my assets, that's over $12,000. So that's over a 4x of what my debt is. Even though I have the money, I can just take it out of my portfolio right now and
Mhm.
fully pay the debt off. I'm still trying to get it off, and it's still shackles and it's still enslavement. And that's a small amount of debt, especially compared to most people.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok last night of a lady that had like $100,000 in student loan debt, the principal, and in 10 years, all she did was pay off the interest, and she only made a $6,000 dent in the principal, which means she's going to be about late 70s when she finally pays it off. That's
HR
outrageous.
lady, HR lady at Lowe's. I used to work at Lowe's. She told me that she's been in student loan debt for a long time, like 20, 30, 40 years, and she's still working there and trying to pay it off. It's I'm telling people it's enslavement. That's why I'm not getting myself into any student loan debt because for me, college would be a waste of time simply because I'm not going to want a field in life that requires it. I would rather build up capital. I'd rather have no student loan debt, no consumer debt, just keep investing. And in my 30s, I'll be a lot more well off than me spending 5 years in university just to say, oh, I didn't get it. I got a degree. I can't find a job because the degree I got is not in
Mhm.
demand. And the reason why I got that degree that's not in demand is because I'm not the type of person and personality fit to go for the high demanding degree. Not everybody can get a high demand degree.
Yeah, not and like a pre medical degree, a law degree, electrical engineering, chemical engineering, they're all hard and they take a lot of effort and learning grit to succeed in. And even in those areas, most of them they're only hire a lot of them are only really hiring from Ivy League schools for the really high paying positions.
And they
So
want the certain type of politics in you. You have to, it's not even just about your degree and your IQ. I've said this many times on stream. We live in an EQ dominated society. People don't give a fuck about how smart you are if you cannot deal with other people. If you cannot convince people something, if you cannot change people's perspectives, if you're not good at talking to people and brightening people up, companies aren't going to care about how smart you are. They're going to be like, go away. Like, what can you do for our clients?
yeah, exactly, exactly. So, but it's like I said, debt in all forms is really the shackle that's binding you to a life because you have student loan debt, then you get out, you get a car loan, then you get out, then you go and you get a mortgage, and then you go and you get credit card debt and consumer debt. And before you know it, you are now shackled to a job to make sure that you keep that lifestyle going, and you don't want to be in that position. You want to be you want to be able to break that shackle and be able to say, hey, I don't like working here anymore. It's not what I want to do. I want to move on with my life. And if you're in debt, you can't move on. Because I saw a lot of people work jobs they absolutely did not like, but because they made enough money to pay for their bills. Now it's different than saying, hey, I'm trying to provide for my family. I'm the only person working in the household. Let me go work this. Let me go be a garbage collector for 80,000 a year because it's definitely going to make me money. That's a little different, but it's where you're like, hey, I hate working in an environment. I really want to start my own business. I want to do other things. I want to take a break from this, and you can't, and you just can't. It's like you're just bound so much that you're always underwater and you're constantly gasping for air. That's not how you want to do it. And then of course it makes people want to take moonshots, degenerate trading and investing. That's where uh Ponzi schemers come in, scammers start coming in, and they start taking your money because they're thriving off of where you're constantly trying to gasp for air and you just can't make it. And they're going to start selling you hopium, and then you fall for it, and then you're back in the cycle, even further down in the cycle again. So, and if Cody and myself hopes is that you guys see that you can escape and that you don't have to do degenerate investing and moonshots to get there. It's just playing smart and understanding that you're trying to win against the house, and we can win, but it just takes a while. And you got to play your hands right, play your cards right, play each avenue as smart and as efficient as you can, so that way you can win in the end. Because a lot of us are not going to make it when we hit 60, 70 years old. A lot of people are going to be like, man, I really, really should not have done all those things in my life. And you don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be in that position where you said, why did I waste all that money? Why did I get that overpriced mortgage or overpriced house? Why did I buy the BMW when I was only making 70,000 a year? You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to be in a position to say, hey, life is great. I have no regrets, and I've lived in a peaceful way in the pursuit of my happiness. So it's like I can't emphasize that any more than that, because it's going to it's going to be rough if you try to ignore that. It's really going to be rough. Pretty much we're coming to the end of this live. I do have to get going with my companies. Got a lot of calls to make. People were calling in, but didn't really have a Q&A session this time around. So sorry about that, guys. Shout out to Danny Boy. Dave Ramsey is a good mentor for discretionary spending. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So he does. It's old fashioned, but his method works. It really works. It's not flashy. It's not gritty. He's not out there talking like with a Lamborghini right behind him. He's telling you, hey, I am an older guy. Knock this shit off and do this. So I definitely recommend watching his channel and his lives and videos because he is telling you how to do it, no matter whether you like it or not. He is telling you how to do it. But I think we're going to close out this morning live. We'll be back on later tonight with the Tuesday evening stream for you guys. So definitely happy to have you in here. While you guys are in here, before you go, definitely like the live. Go like the live on YouTube. Help us in the algorithm. Help us grow. Really appreciate joining you guys in here. Shout out to Crypto Caddy. Thank you. Have a great afternoon, guys. Thank you too. Hope you have a great afternoon too. Also, check out our Patreon. You can subscribe for free, get the newsletter. Also, if you want to become a supporter, you can, and you can get access to early releases on videos, exclusive content, and the exclusive live every Thursday. Really appreciate you guys joining in. And we are going to head out for today.
I do want to say, right before we end the live, that it seems like we're going through an up crab market. This is what happened in crypto from August 2015 to about December 2017. An up
Mhm.
crab market is pretty much to where we're slowly climbing up, but on the way there, we're going up and down. We're extremely volatile. That's all that crypto is going to be doing for the next year or 2 years. We're just going to be in an up crab market.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to be in that trading sideways, but still going in an upward trajectory, probably for the next year. Although I do expect to see a correction within the next 3 months. That's just my hope. Shout out to Live and Learn. Thank you, and you are welcome. And thank you for joining the live and giving us all your support. We really do appreciate it.
But that's all I wanted to say, guys. I know Sal is busy, and I know I got to contact the job I'm going to about my background check, make sure that's all good, and it's all good. I don't have any felonies or anything serious on my record. I'm not even worried about that. I just got to check up on it.
Absolutely. So we're going to get going. Thank you, guys. Give us some support. Give us some follows. We look forward to seeing you guys later tonight. Tomorrow, Wednesday morning, we won't have a stream because I got to be out on the road early. So we won't have a stream tomorrow morning, but we will have a stream Wednesday evening for you guys, doing our normal Ponzi schemes and scandals stream, because there's a lot more that keep coming out of the woodworks, and it's going to happen as the economy keeps going sideways. But with that said, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Invest wisely. Don't invest your life savings in a moonshot. Always do your research and due diligence, and always never invest more than you're willing to lose. Thank you, guys, and have a wonderful day. And I hope you guys have a great day chasing that bag.